right, and we're here with another hell of a show, and we're getting ready to have a great time on here tonight. First off, I want to go ahead and let everybody know. I say this on a lot of shows, and I know I say it right at the beginning. To go ahead and like, subscribe, and share these things out. But get this shared out as soon as you watch this and get to seeing this, because I know it's pre-recorded. But go ahead and start sharing this out. You're going to want to get this shared out. I guarantee you. This is a creator that I have on here that's for the first time. One of the first times that she's been on another show. She's been on a couple of other shows, to my knowledge, kind of, just hanging out with the rest of the crew and everything. But as a full-on interview, this is kind of the first time. So we're not going to go ahead and, get her scared off or anything by any means, because we have fun on the show. So it's not a matter of trying to, scare her off by any means, but we're going to have a lot of fun here. So please get these shares out there, get that going, and remember to increase the voice of the Indies any way you possibly can. I personally use my voice because I never seem to shut my mouth. My fiance will go ahead and abide by that one. But you got to use what you got to use. So before we go ahead and get into all the shenanigans too much with me up here by myself, let's go ahead and bring someone else up here. It's going to give a whole different perspective to some of the things that we do in the Indies. Here is Chelsie Despres.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on?
My name's Chelsie. I am actually a co-owner of a comic book shop, and I've started getting commissions recently for paintings, and it's kind of taken off. So that's what I've been doing recently.
Well, I mean, you're hitting it very light on this one, because it's a matter of, you say it's like, okay, I just started doing some things and it's taken off. You're actually getting quite a bit of following, and people are beating down the door going, I want more, send me more. There's a lot of, you've taken off very quickly with what you're doing. And we're going to talk a lot about that and how you built up to that and all. But I mean, it's one of those things that it seems like it was more of a passion thing that you were just kind of having fun with. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden people are in demand about your work that's out there so much that you're like, all right, we'll take it to the next level if we need to.
Exactly. That's kind of how it was. I just started painting more of a stress relief than anything else. I mean, I've been doing art since I was young, and just recently, probably within the last 2 years, I started painting again, and started doing it for friends and families, just kind of giving them away as gifts. And then I had a friend of mine wanted a Iceman for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that was shown to the world, everybody was, holy crap, so people started reaching out. That was the first one.
Right there. Yes.
Yep. After that, it was reached out, and I got a commission for a Green Lantern. So that was my technically my very first commission piece was the Green Lantern that I did.
Mm-hmm. And we have that one too. Yes.
And that's where the guys from Comic Fanzine started really pushing. They're like, come on, Chelsie, you got to do this more frequently, not just as a part-time gig. You need to jump in. So they've been really helpful trying to help me out and get my name out there.
So Iceman and Green Lantern have already found homes, correct?
Those two have already found homes, correct. I did a Red Sonja, and that one already has a home as well. That was for a Christmas present.
Nice.
For another collector. And then a friend here in town, actually a mutual friend of Cesar Morales and myself, she commissioned her boyfriend for Christmas.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So, I mean, you've been busy with this. I mean, it's something that, like you said, it was something that gave you stress relief, and then you got back into it after a little while, and all of a sudden it's not causing more stress, I hope, because you're actually getting a lot more people kind of beating down the door saying, we want more. We want to see what else we can get you to kind of push your envelope on and see what you can come up with.
Yes.
Is it just strictly the comic centric side of it, or do you do some other stuff as well?
I do other stuff as well. I have done landscapes. I've done still life. One of my favorites that I've done is a pelican that I did. That was it was a off of a so that one right there that you're showing is an owl that I did for another comic book artist. Actually, his name is Fernando Jimenez, and that was his birthday present that I did for him.
Nice.
So,
I mean, there's your pelican.
That's the pelican. So that one was actually based off of a picture that I took when I went to San Diego back in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much detail in there. I mean, it's got that simplistic art style, but so much detail added in as well. So it's got a very soft feel to it. It really, I mean, even the Green Lantern, you see so many, prints and comic covers and inside of the comics. And of course, growing up with the series and everything like that, you've seen that pose especially has been like his master pose that he's done 20 million times. But whenever you see that, let me bring it up one more time so we can see this. Not only is it the pose itself, but how the light comes off of it and everything, being that this is a painting. Remember, everybody, this is not a, digital. This is not something that was done like that. Or this is actually painting on canvas, correct?
Correct. I do acrylic on canvas, and it's just one of those things that, I mean, I could paint on pretty much anything, but this has been my thing. Like, I've been okay with sketch work. I'm not the best drawer, but painting just kind of comes out. So I'm happy with how it's been a very good avenue for me. So
now we're gonna go back to the painting stuff here in just a little bit, but I want to go kind of veer a little bit to the left on this one. You mentioned earlier about co-owning your comic book store.
Yes.
Let us know a little bit about the comic book store itself.
So I am co-owner of Cerebro Comics and Collectibles. I started it back in 2020 in the midst of COVID. I had been laid off of my job that I had been at for 16 years. I was in quality assurance for a bone and tissue bank for 16 years.
Oof.
So, when life shuts the door, other things open. So technically, before the comic shop, we were going to open. We were working on a food truck because my business partner is also an executive chef.
Oh, wow.
He was an executive chef for 20 years. So that was the original thought. But because of COVID and all the red tape, we decided, hey, we've got PCs. Why don't we sell some books to make ends meet? And then we just opened up. It just took off. That's another one that just kind of took off. And we started our own shop. And we are right outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we've been doing it for going on 3 years now.
And there's a huge demand in New Mexico for a lot of stuff over there, because I know Arizona and New Mexico has a lot of people looking for the comic book stores there, correct?
Yes. I mean, there's a couple of LCSs in Albuquerque. There are none. Where our shop was actually located was just north of Albuquerque in a town called Bernalillo. And there's nothing, no comic books. There's nothing really where my house is. I'm kind of out in the country, but there's no comic book stores out here. So that was a big reason for our location is, you know what? The ones in Albuquerque have been established for a while. Let's do it out here. Let's get some for the people so they don't have to drive all the way into town if they don't want to. But honestly, our store is mostly online. Like, we have a couple of customers who come in regularly, but we have done predominantly online sales.
Nice. I mean, starting up in 2020, you kind of had to with that. So you at least got the foundation set right then to go ahead and get it where they knew they could get it online. And then you just kept it going from there.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it.
We've tried, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
We tried different avenues. Like, we've tried different online avenues of sellers. And honestly, right now, Facebook has been our best for our sales, has been Facebook Live sales.
Nice. So, yeah, that's, I mean, it's definitely, that's one thing that I brought up to several creators throughout the past couple of years, is that with 2020, everybody was kind of slapped in the face with the reality that you couldn't just do a face-to-face and physical, cons and all that kind of stuff 100% of the time, that you had
Correct.
to have that online presence in order to go ahead and survive and move through and build, because everything's leaning that way. I'm not saying it's not going to be physical anymore by any means, but there is so much business that is done, via the internet and everything there. Are
Correct.
you seeing that you've got like, cross country, that you're doing orders on there, or is it mainly in your area, or what are you doing?
It's cross country. It's worldwide. We've shipped to Australia. We've shipped to Hong Kong. We've shipped to Korea,
Nice.
Guam, Germany, Canada. So yeah, we've branched out, and we've been able to reach a lot of different people in a lot of different places. And what what works, what's great, is that my business partner is definitely more DC, and I'm more Marvel, but we both love indies. So it's been a great balancing act.
And that's kind of leading into my next question is, we want to turn back the clock even further back, and we want to get into the fact of what brought you into your love for the comics in the first place. I mean, was there a certain series run that was out there? Was there a certain character? Was there anything like that? Or was it just in general what the whole thing was offering?
So really, for me, it started back in the 90s with the X-Men. That was the cartoon was like my intro
Yeah.
into comics. And I am a huge Gambit and Rogue fan. I don't know if you can see back
Oh, yeah.
there. I have a love for Gambit and Rogue, and it's just expanded from there. I had not a huge collection in high school, but I had a decent amount. And then the typical sad story, I went to college and my mom threw away all my comic books. Like, threw them away.
Oh, ouch.
Out the door. So I come back and I'm like, Mom, where are my comics? And she's like, oh, I got rid of those. They were just taking up room.
Oh,
Ah!
oh,
So then, it's just one of those things that life happens, and you just kind of, you get into other things, and other stuff happens. And it wasn't really until the 2019, 2020 that I started getting back into comics. It's not that I ever stopped enjoying them, but as far
right.
as collecting them, it was a good almost 20 years before I picked up another book to start collecting.
Now,
And
I've got to ask, because we already brought up about Caesar, being
Mhm.
the kind of deciding thing that Caesar actually put you on my radar, to go ahead and get you on my show. I've been all over there on Comic Fanzine. We've been, I've been on there several times talking with them. I try to go in there as much as I possibly can. Whenever I know that they're going to be on, sometimes they change the time. That throws me off a little bit too. But I try to be in there at least in the comments. But I've
uh-huh.
also had Caesar on my show as a guest. So my question to you is, are you more of a collector or a reader?
I am both. I am
Okay.
I am not Caesar. I actually will open up a comic book and read it.
Yeah, I mean, and for those that don't know, Caesar is he is a straight up collector. He doesn't read them at all, at all. In fact, it's one of those things where I think all of us have this now. We have a vendetta that we're going to make sure he reads something. We got to put something in front of him where he actually reads through it and goes, "That's actually pretty cool." Yeah, we're all kind of in that boat trying to get him to do that.
I was like, well, if you don't read, how do you even know what book you have? Because you can't read the title then. You know, we like to bust his butt.
Oh yeah.
He's actually a neighbor. So he lives
Oh,
about 15 minutes from us. Yeah.
oh wow. So you've actually seen the collection?
Oh, I have.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. I have been in the room.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, it's pretty epic. It
Yeah,
is pretty epic.
I can only imagine that it just, it glows even more whenever you step in. There's like angelic music playing in the background.
Well, that might be pushing it. That might be pushing it. But yeah, it's definitely one of the coolest setups I have seen for a comic book room.
Nice.
If I had an actual space to do what he has done, I would probably do it too. I just don't have the space. When you got kids, you just kind of sacrifice stuff for yourself.
That is true. That is true. Now, what is as far as like your love for the comics and all that kind of thing, if you've gone to, I'm sure you've gone to some of the cons, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
So what has been one of the biggest names that you've met up with that has really stuck with you? And I don't mean just big name, but I'm talking about somebody that really had an impact on you whenever you met them physically.
One of my okay, so as far as artists go,
Artists,
meeting
writers, creators, anything.
yeah, but as far as artists go, meeting Ken Salinas and McLean McGuire, I don't know if you know who they are. They
Hmm.
are some of the coolest, most down to earth people that I have ever met. They're just they're awesome. I actually saw them. We had a con here this last weekend, and they were here. And
Nice.
I go right up to the booth, and Ken's like, "Get in here and give me a hug," and he's like, and so I'm in his booth, he's doing his stuff, and he looks at me and he goes, "Do you want a cookie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm sitting there like eating his cookies and just hanging out with them. But that was one. Getting to know them has been great. Um, but as far as actors go, meeting at a con, it was 2021. I was able to meet the cast, not all the cast, but the majority of the boys from Sandlot.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we were actually working that con, and we had a mule for us, going around to booths and getting signatures. And he went and got a baseball signed for me. And so later on in the day, they were across the hall from us because there was a tattoo artist over there. So they
Ah,
were all getting matching tattoos. And
wow.
I got the guts to go over there, and I brought the ball with me, and I said, "Thank you guys so much for signing this for me." My dad was a baseball coach, a little league baseball coach, and this is one of the balls that he had kept, and he had passed away from cancer in 2020. So the
Hmm.
fact that they signed that ball, I was like, it means the world to me that you signed it. I started crying. They started crying. It was, and that was it was the two brothers at that point, and then Smalls came. The one who played Smalls came over to the
Yes.
booth later, and I told him the story, and he couldn't even speak. Like he got so choked up and so emotional, he had to walk away. And so the running joke now is that I made the boys from Sandlot cry. But that's honestly one of the best memories that I have had from a con, was getting just that raw emotion from somebody that you've watched this movie of them hundreds of times growing up,
Right.
and just that raw emotion that you touch them. And the one who actually plays Repeat, the younger of the brothers, like
Yes.
he and I still stay in contact. Like he stopped
Wow.
by the booth several times um during that con, just to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Just to talk. And like we still keep in contact. So it's really cool that I've made that connection.
Now, for those of you that are going to be watching this, that you hear the name Sandlot and you don't know what that means, number one, shame on you. Number
Right?
two, Google it and look up, old movies, Sandlot, that way. You'll find it there.
I'm not
Uh,
that old.
well, I am, so I'm just telling you right now. It's one of those things that somebody says, "Killing me, Smalls," and I'm like, I know it. And other people are
Yep.
like, "Why are you laughing at that?" And it's like, oh, come on.
Exactly. How can you have not seen that movie? My kids love that movie. So for those of you who don't know what Sandlot is, it's about a bunch of boys, like coming of age story about playing baseball.
Hmm. Yep. And losing the baseball in the neighbor's
It's a
yard with a
great
big
ending.
dog and can't get it back. And there's all
With a
kinds of
big
fun with
dog. And Darth Vader as the neighbor.
that as well. Yes. See, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it again. I'm that old that I'm forgetting little pieces of it and everything. Now, when we're done with this, I'm gonna be like, I gotta find it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yep, you got to watch Sandlot tonight. Everybody, go out. That is your homework assignment from this podcast: is go watch Sandlot.
I mean, I've probably got it on VHS, but who has a VCR anymore?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I was actually. It's funny that you say that because we were cleaning out, or looking through inventory, and I came across a VHS of an Iron Maiden concert,
Ooh,
and I
nice.
was just like, "Huh!" But it's VHS.
But I mean, that's one of those things where you have to go to like a pawn shop or something and say, I'm going to drop $10. I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and drop $10 and get a VCR right now.
Exactly, right? Well, it's the same thing with a tape player or a, CD player. They like record players are everywhere because of the upsurge in vinyl sales. But like trying to find a tape player or a CD player is harder than heck to find. So.
Yeah. But even though record players are up, up in sales because of all that coming back and everything,
Mhm.
mention to somebody about, do you have a record player? They'll be like, oh yeah, those are the coolest things they ever invented just recently. Be like, what's a 45? And they'll be like,
Exactly.
that's a gun, right? No, not that one. The other 45.
No. That's another thing I collect is vinyl. So I have probably close to 500 LPs,
Ooh,
and that's not counting 45s or 33s. So
nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
I have an issue with collecting things.
See, I'm just getting up there in age, so I'm just to the point where I'm collecting dust.
No, whatever.
No, but I mean, you've got a love for the industry, for other things that are out there, that the pop culture and all.
Mhm.
Is there something that you've picked up in your collection and everything that really sticks out to you? Something that you've got that's your holy grail that you've got so far?
One of the things, so I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I have been since I was young. So it's not like that, oh my gosh, it's because of the movies. No,
Yeah,
it's because
exactly.
I've liked it since I was a kid. And so the fact that I have um completed all the runs of Guardians of the Galaxy, including the Marvel spotlights.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a big one. I am also a huge Jessica Rabbit fan. So I have completed my runs of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like all of those.
Wow.
Um, I am a Crow fan as well,
Oh,
and
nice.
and so I yes, so I have all my Aubert, my James Aubert, my J Aubert. Those are probably ones that I will never get rid of.
I
But
am I'm working on, as we speak, trying to get James on as a guest. So if you happen to be watching this, James, and you see this, I'm not the only one who's asking. I mean, fans like Chelsea are like, make it happen, make it happen.
absolutely, to the point that my oldest son's name was Draven. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
There you go. And for those of you that don't know why we're getting so excited and what the crow is, again, shame on you and start Googling some stuff.
absolutely. What is wrong with you?
Then you start making it where they have, a test afterwards and they have to send it in and let me know if they actually watch these movies and understand them. You can't just say that
Exactly.
you did just to say it.
Okay, pop quiz.
Exactly. But I mean, you mentioned also about, Guardians of the Galaxy and how you were a fan before the movies and everything. So
Mhm.
number one, we're all excited that they're bringing back the actual uniforms. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
however, uh, if what they're saying is true and is going to happen and everything, and the spoilers on there, and I can say spoiler alert all I want to because it's all over the internet, but they're
Absolutely.
really leaning toward. They said at least one of the members will die in this, and they're really leaning towards Rocket. And I am just over here like, no, not Rocket.
Okay, well, like honestly, all of them have always been like, okay, Yondu has always been a favorite,
Right,
but Rocket and Groot have always been favorites too. And I
right.
think that the Marvel universe, Marvel did a good justice to both of them um, in the movies.
Hmm.
But having Bradley Cooper in that just like sarcastic snide
Yes,
is just perfect. It's
yes.
perfect. So if you saw the rest of my house, I have Rocket and Groot all over my house too. So
That is awesome. Now, what is, we've already talked about what you do have all already. What is a grail that you are just seeking that you would love to have? Like that's your Indiana Jones moment that you would go over there and move the statue and put something in its place to get it.
Batman Adventures 12.
Whew. Oh, you popped that one off quick.
That that in Strange Tales 110. Those two would be huge. And Dell loves to torture me with the fact that he's got BA12. and it drives me crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's just like, look what I got, Chelsea, and I'm
Yeah.
like
No, I don't mean really that he would torture you, because I know he would do that. I just didn't realize he had it.
oh yeah, he has it, and yeah, he likes to dangle it like a little carrot in front of me. Here, Chelsea.
uh,
Yeah, so those two, if that would make my day. That would make my day. I'm also a huge Stephen Strange fan as well. Um, I love Doctor Strange as well. I have I have a good share of Strange Tales. So yeah,
that
yeah,
was,
those are ones that would be hard that are hard for me to give up to.
and see,
Those are
that's
other.
one that the MCU is kind of like completely bypassed, what could have been with that.
Mhm.
They've really missed the opportunities there, and leaned so hard into some of the other ones that it's like, you're missing the big one over here. This one did a lot more than what you're leading up to here.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the fact that I'm a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
It's going to get interesting. I mean, with Phase 5 officially opening now, and then we have Quantumania, that's going to be going and everything. There's a lot of things that are happening, a lot of moving parts. That does bring up one that I want to ask you, is that Marvel and DC.
Hmm.
Without putting too much into it, how would you fix the DC universe? And I'm trying to be nice about this. I really am. How would you fix it? Because now that they've just wiped the slate and said that none of it really exists, and we're starting completely over. Now that
Right,
they have some new fresh talent, which we all know who that is, and is going to be right there. And Gunn's going to take care of everything. But
right.
to take out Snyder completely was like, whoa, that was left field.
Exactly, exactly. Honestly, because DC has been so successful with their animated,
Yes.
if they brought the writers from their animated series to write the live action movies, they would have something. They would have
Yes.
something. And it's
Yes.
just like, why just do it? Just just do it. Um, but that's honestly that's I think the biggest way to fix it is the writers.
Yes.
It all comes back to how those scripts are written, and they have fallen short. I'm like, I love Wonder Woman, but when the second one was
No, don't.
it's like, what? Why? Why did you do that?
Yeah, all
Um,
of us are asking why. I don't know, that was somebody lost a bet. That's all we're going with on that one. That's all that could have happened. It'd be like, oh man, I lost. I actually got to make this now.
right, right, or just how many shots were involved in the
Yeah.
writing of that script. Was
And
anybody sober when that script was written? I
and
don't
poor
know.
Pedro Pascal was holding the whole thing on his shoulders the entire time. A great actor, so much range, and still,
Mhm.
could not do it. And it's like, oh, y'all really just dropped the ball on this one. Really?
I mean, the most successful that they have been is the Batman franchise. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, that's and my business partner is not a Batman fan, so I can just hear him in the background going, "Shut up about Batman. We don't talk about Batman." Um, but that's where their success has been. I mean, it's been kind of sad that they have not been able to continue the Superman to the extent as Christopher Reeves was.
Right.
Because Christopher Reeves was amazing as Superman, and it's
Yes.
just it sucks that it just kind of took a dive after him.
Now, I will
Uh,
say this, that now I'm not a huge Batman fan either. And I've said this on other shows as well. So if people have already unfriended me, that's fine. If someone else is, I understand. I mean, it's one of those check marks that you have to have on a friends list. I don't know.
right?
But whenever I was, at that point, whenever they brought out the Batman movies, and of course, Michael Keaton, number one Batman, I'm throwing it out there right now. That is my epitome of Batman right there. Um, but whenever they went through those movies, of course, the way that they were promoting them and the way that they were marketing was
Mhm.
so different back then. You didn't get leaks. You didn't get, spoiler alert on this thing or whatever. It was, you had to wait until the day of and go, wow, how did I not, know anything about this in this time frame? Then they came out with Batman Begins. And I remember going to the theater, and the only thing they leaked on the trailer, and we're talking about like the week of the movie coming out, is they finally showed the Batmobile, the Tumbler.
Mhm.
And everybody was like, I don't care what you're planning on doing this weekend, drop everything because you want to see what this thing is, because that was
Yep.
a whole new vehicle that never existed. Batmobiles have been done left and right with the same, huge wings on the back and everything, which is good, great, and wonderful for the look of the comic. But to have something so new and fresh, but my point is that the whole marketing was so different on there. So now whenever they're doing things, they spoil everything a year ahead of time. I mean, literally, they go to cons or they go and do a certain, not actually podcast, because I would love to have them on a podcast or something like this to
Right.
spoil something for me. But
Right.
they go on certain things like that, and all of a sudden, everything's out in the open. They have nothing, to show off there. So whenever you go watch the movie, you're like, looks just like the trailer, but just a few hours more.
Mhm. Well, and that unfortunately, technology has done great things for us, but has not done great things in other things either. I'm like, you don't need to know everything about everything all the time.
Exactly.
Let there be some suspense. Let grow that suspense. And
Exactly.
you don't, but that's just how it is, unfortunately, and it's sad.
Now that
Yeah.
right there is the word. And if we got to go back to the Pee Wee Herman days and we're going to do the whole word of the day and I got to start yelling, I will. But suspense is the word. Ah, got to throw it out
Ah,
there.
I'll do it too.
So suspense is the word. Ah,
Ah!
yeah, I did it again. Uh,
I don't
speaking
know if
of,
you heard him. My business partner was screaming in the other room.
so speaking of that particular word, I want to go ahead and start discussing something else that's a little bit closer to my neighborhood as well, which I'm looking forward to. I'm all kinds of excited about this. So she's been working on, her paintings and things over there. We've been talking about that. However, she has been commissioned to do her first cover for a book that has not come out yet. That will be coming out. If I'm not correct, not mistaken, and I should not be because it's it's something that I'm working on. Um, Myself and Tim Ingram are working on creating a book. The series is called Voices in the Dark, Darke. Um, we've talked about this a little bit. I don't bring it up on my shows because I don't like talking about my stuff. However, this is a direct tie-in to my guests. So everyone who's watching this and wants to go ahead and comment and say, oh, you talked about some of your stuff. Well, like I said, direct tie-in, because number one, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all two things on here tonight. Actually, we're going to show you the first page in color so you can see what it looks like from there. No words, anything like that. So you can take from it what you want. But I'm going to show you that first page right now. And I just want to say that the gentleman that's down there in the bottom there, that is one handsome looking feller that's down there in the
Yes,
tie.
it
I
is.
just want to throw that out there. This is Voices in the Dark. I'm not even going to go into exactly what all it's about and everything because you're just going to have to wait because that marketing schedule is kind of rolling out in the next month or two.
Mhm.
We are officially going to launch this on crowdfunding on Kickstarter on May 30th. It will be launching. So be ready for that. But the reason that I want you to be ready, and the reason I bring this up, because again, this is a direct tie-in to my guest. This is not a point where my guest is sitting over here going, why did I ever do this show? He's just talking about his stuff. He's not even talking about my stuff. Because her stuff is our stuff, is my stuff, is her stuff, is her stuff, is my stuff, is Tim's stuff. Tim's, mine, hers. Yes.
Mhm.
Cover all the bases there. So that being said, we want to go ahead and show her cover. And mind you, right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have not seen this yet. So this is the first time seeing this. So I'm going to give her full screen. If you hear a loud thud over here on the other side and she doesn't come out of full screen, tell somebody to throw some smelling salts over the way to my fiance till she can go wake me up or whatever. But hang on a sec. Let's go ahead and bring her up full screen. And here is the cover.
Ready?
Oh, oh my God, I love it. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, wow. Oh,
I don't know if we can get it.
okay. Hang on a sec. Full screen again on this one. That is awesome. Look at that. So what we went for on, oh my gosh, that is absolutely awesome. What we told her that we wanted on this is we wanted a talk show feel, something like the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson.
Mhm.
Apparently, you went with the whole teeing off like you're doing with the golf club type thing,
Mhm.
which is awesome because the host is doing that. And of course, you've got the green guy peeking through the curtain there. And if you don't know who the green guy is, you're going to
Yep.
just going to have to wait. You're going to have to be patient on that one. Uh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Thank
That is so
you.
flipping awesome. I am trying not to curse too much. I know it's my show and I get away with it, but yeah, I'm yeah. Wow, that is above and beyond awesome.
Thank you. It was fun. Like, there were definitely moments that I'm just like, "What the hell am I doing?" But then I was just like, "Okay, just go with it. Just go with it." And that's the great thing with my business partner. So of course, well, he saw it before you did, but he'll sit there, like he'll walk by and he's like, "Yep, that's cool. Yep, that's cool." And
Wow.
he's like, "Just keep going. Just keep going." He's like, "Because there's always a point with every painting that I do that I'm doing. Is this right? Is this gonna turn out the way that I want it to?" And then I'm like, "No, just trust the process. Just just go with it." And it turned out pretty freaking well. So
Yeah, it did. Wow. Um, okay, I'm trying to recenter myself here. Woo-saw, here we go. Just a moment. Woo-saw, here we go. Get back into center here. So voices in the I'm trying. I can't remember the name of the thing now. Voices in the Dark.
Yarke. Okay,
There
I
you
got
go.
you. I
There you
got
go.
you.
As it is created by myself and by Tim Ingram. The interiors are done by June Primero. The exteriors, we have one cover, which is being done by Chelsie. This is your first published cover work that you'll be doing. So we are more than excited. I mean, much more than excited, even after seeing that. Wow. I was already excited to get your first work since you're new to getting into all of this and everything. And as soon as Tim and I reached out to you and said, we talked, the conversation went, Tim was asking me, who do we want for covers? And I was like, I know I want Chelsie. And he's like, what am I, who's Chelsie? What has she done before? And I sent him some of your work and everything. And that's whenever he was like, so see if we can get her. I was like, well, okay then. I wasn't
Well,
sure.
there you go.
I wasn't sure if you were busy or whatever. I know that Caesar, was messaging me left and right going, so, you got her on as a guest, right? She's coming on. Is she working? Is she doing your stuff? Is she on as a guest? So he was excited about it. I know he'll be watching this, rooting for you left and right as well. And I know whenever we launch, he's probably going to end up getting that one to have the cover on there. I just want to let you know, Caesar, there's you open it up. I'm gonna bust a myth right here. You open it up and it's got more, pictures and words and stuff like that in there. It's a whole story that's in there. I'm telling you, before you slab this thing, just read it. Just do it. Just do it.
But then he'll give the excuse, "Well, I don't do moderns. I don't do moderns." That's pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, technically, you don't even have to tell the whole world that you did it. Just let those of us know who are, working on the book and everything, and we will feel so much better. And that's whenever I can hang it over Dell's head and be like, I know what Caesar did that you don't.
Right? Exactly.
For those of you that don't know, Dell Guzman is he's a great guy, above and beyond.
Yep.
But he likes to give hell as much as we tend to give it back as well, because, if you just sit there and take it so much, he just decides, you could just be a punching bag on that end. So you kind of go, yeah, I'm going to give it back a little bit. And he has more fun with that. So I'm going to give a little lead out here with that and say Comic Fanzine, you need to check that out on Facebook. They are on there pretty much every week. They used to be a regular schedule. Some things happened on there with Dell's health that he is back. He is well. Had something to do with them trying to find a brain. They still didn't, but he's okay. But he's back. But you need to check it out. It's a great show. It has a lot of fun. They go into some serious topics, but 9 times out of 10, the shenanigans are just off the scales. So much fun to be had over there, and a great group of guys. So don't miss out on that. So I do want to give them a shout out on there. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had this interview with Chelsie tonight, and being able to work with her on getting this awesome cover that I want to see again, because I'm going to be, selfish like that. Let me give you full screen and show that one more time. Wow. That is just, oh my gosh. That needs to be in the Louvre.
Oh,
Well, just because of the incredibly handsome guy that's there too. I mean, you're
well,
painting as
that,
well.
I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do Phil justice. I have to do Phil justice. I'm like the green guy, okay, but Phil, he has to be Phil,
And by justice, she means that she had to make him look like a very good-looking guy. So
Absolutely.
that anyone who asks her who her, what her most challenging piece has been, that's it right there.
No.
I mean, next we need to take Dell and try. No, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
I can try. I'll see what I can do. I'll make a comic fanzine, one of all of them, and
There you go.
come up with something. I don't know.
That is awesome. I am above and beyond just completely honored that you're doing this and that you're working with us on this, and we're going to have that cover available on the campaign. I cannot wait to have that. I cannot wait to have that thing in my hands when all is said and done, so I can really show that thing off. I actually might slab that one myself. It's okay, Caesar. I'm gonna read the others.
Right? Jeez.
But it is awesome that you've got. I always talk on my shows about the passion that's behind everything that's being done, and it really shows in the works that are out there. And yours is absolutely on point with that. You can definitely tell that you love what you're doing on there, and it's really showing in your work. I mean, you started with Iceman. We showed that one, and that right there was
I love that.
groundbreaking. It was gorgeous. And then we've got the the Green Lantern, which picked it up a whole nother notch, and it's like, okay, this is getting better and better. And then we lead into going into the the reveal tonight to show the cover on there, and yeah, it is just absolutely awesome. Is there I could ask you as one of the kind of like the closing things into here in my questions. Is there someone in particular that would be like a Grail person that you would want to work with? That if they message you and said, we'd love to have you do a piece for us or do a cover or do a print or something like that, who would that be?
Oh dear Lord. Everybody shoots that they want to get involved with Marvel or something like that, But honestly, I kind of fell into this, so I haven't really thought that next step yet as far as comics go. There are definitely artists I would love to collaborate with. On Vu would be one that I would love to.
Oh,
I love
yes.
On. So we do a kind of podcast / comic book sales on Friday nights. It's called Off and On there because she did the cover for the newest Good Boy.
Yes.
And one of our other hosts is Alex from Brotherhood, and that was one of his exclusives. So we had on our show, and she and I, like, we were just having a blast. Ended up sending her a screaming goat from Thor: Love and Thunder because our other host, which is Pete from Underdogs Comics, he had it, and so like On thought it was hilarious. I was cracking up, so I ended up sending On a ended up sending her a screaming goat. But On I would love to work with. Even like David Sanchez would be another one I would love to collaborate with. There's so many of them. But like, okay, Aaron Bartling. I love Aaron. He would be fun to collaborate with. I actually have I don't remember if were you watching when they did the sketch off on Comic Fanzine?
They did several of them. Which one was it exactly?
Well, it was the one that the proceeds went to Wounded Warrior.
Yeah. Yes.
So I ended up getting the Groot that Aaron Bartling did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I have the Groot hanging in. I need to hang it up in my new office, but it's in my old office right now.
Nice.
But he would be another one to collaborate with. That would be awesome. My goal this year for myself is that there is a restaurant that's kind of well known here in Albuquerque. It's called The Range, and they do have local artists. They do have their artwork up. My goal this year is to get a painting up in The Range.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's like back of my head. This needs to happen. I need to get something out there. So
Very nice. I know it probably won't be the one that we just showed off tonight because I
no,
think that one's going to be spoken for. That's not going to happen on that one. But yeah, I can see where we can see some of your work in several places, to be honest. I mean, honestly, there should be other LCSs that should be reaching out saying, "Oh, I'd love to have that up there in the store." So whenever they come in and they're paying for everything, they can look up and go, "Who's that artist? I haven't seen that up on the wall just yet."
that would be awesome too. So like I said, this is something I just kind of got thrown into as far as the commissions and working covers. So my thought, like my brain is still spinning when it comes to like you ask these questions and I'm like, I don't know, I haven't even thought about that. I'm just like trying to figure out how I'm doing this plus run the store plus raise my kids, it's just but I love it. It's been such a great opportunity and I see the doors opening up and I am taking advantage and not advantage. I'm taking the opportunity
Yes.
to show what I can do. So it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, you definitely need to let everyone know exactly what you have available, what you're working on, or what you're taking in. I'm about to go ahead and give you full screen on this one before we go ahead and officially close this one out. But I want you to let everyone know, if you're available for commissions, if you're available for covers, if you're available for anything, and tell them where they go to get a hold of you, and kind of the things that you're kind of available to work on with that. Before I do, I just want to let everyone know, don't miss out. This is one of those things where she's on the groundbreaking side of things. We got her first. Nanner, nanner, nanner. I'm going to throw that in Bill's face. Oh, that's going to be a nanner, nanner moment. Something fierce. Oh, yes. So we got her first, but I'm telling you right now, if you wait too long, she's going to be one of those very sought after artists that are out there because it's a whole different style. It's a whole different thing that's out there because not a lot of people do the actual painting portion of it. There's a few. There's a very few that I can really name off the top of my head real quickly. Is not that many. And she still takes that style and gives it that feel of it looks like something that was done way back when, but with today's, a feel to it as well. So it's got a multiple kind of a feeling to it. I don't know how to really explain that, but it has a lot of depth to it. We'll put it that way. Yeah, I would be terrible coming ahead and doing an opening for an art museum or something like that. Be like, I don't know, it feels like something. It gives you feels. Yeah, there's depth and color and shades and brush. There's strokes of brushes and yeah, there you go. But,
That,
I mean,
yep,
you
I
do stuff like
understand that
that. You want to buy
completely.
stuff, don't you? I mean, you're just like, oh, sold. I don't know what it is, but I got to have it.
Yep, it's got brush strokes on it. I'm sold.
So let me go ahead and give you full screen on this and let everybody know why they need to go ahead and keep an eye on your work over there and how they need to get a hold of you in case they want to get their own.
So I currently I am working on building up another Facebook page. My business will be called Graceful Hands. I will be starting that up on Facebook as well as Instagram. You can find me myself. My name is Chelsie Despres. I can always have Phil put in like how to spell my last name because nobody knows how to say it. But right now, the best way to reach me is either through Instagram or through Facebook. And the other way you can reach me is through my business page, which is Cerebro Comics and Collectibles. You can find that on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Very
I
cool.
am I am fully open right now. Well, I can't say I'm fully open. I've got 2 commissions on the books right now that I'm going to be starting. One of them is an owl or a set of owls for an anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be doing a black cat after that. So,
Nice. Very nice. I can't wait to see all that. And I definitely want to see one thing that I would love to be able to see on your end since you're getting started on this is to see the progress shots. Like to see, from a blank canvas moving to the finished shot there. And I know, like you said, you're looking at it going, I don't know where this is going, but it's going somewhere. Sometimes, in those progress shots, it's fun to look at because you're like, I don't know what this is, what she's trying to come up with on here. And then all of a sudden you see the finished one going, whoa, I was catfished.
like, oh, that's not how it's. It was a big old mess beforehand, but now I know it's like it's funny because I look at him from the eye, and I from my eye, and I think about there was a line from the movie Clueless. Okay, people, that's another one. Go back in time, look up Clueless because she says, "Oh, that girl's a Monet," and they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" And they're like, "Well, far away she's beautiful, but close up she's a hot mess."
Hmm.
And when I do my paintings, like when I'm right on top of them, I'm just like, oh, what are you? What are you doing? But then I step back and then I'm just like, oh, okay, that's actually turning out the way I want it to. And
That is
I get
awesome.
it.
I mean, we are definitely, I know we're paying attention because, we're kind of having to at this point because we have your cover and everything. And we're definitely going to be pushing that one to let everybody know that that one is available. So we haven't even officially, started talking about the campaign and the marketing and everything. So this is a major reveal showing that tonight on here,
Mhm.
and letting everybody know. And like I said, first time I've seen it. So the whole jaw drop and the fact that I needed like a drool rag underneath me because, the floor is wet now. I'm telling you, it's slippery when wet type thing.
Oh my.
Um, from the drool. Anyway,
Oh,
never mind.
okay.
Never mind. No, whew, it's warm in here. Why is it? Oh yeah, the heat back, the flames and everything. I'm sure that's what it
It's
is.
the flames. It's the flames.
Exactly. So I have had an absolute blast having you on here tonight and talking about, your passion into everything that you do, your work that you'd have, your experience getting there, your work in the LCS that you have, that you're building and everything that's actually got a good following, like you said, online, and you're still
Mhm.
building from there. The last thing that I want to go ahead and ask you, this is the thing to go ahead and end all right here, is what is some of the best advice that you could possibly give to somebody who is coming into this new as an artist, that you've learned from all of this that you would like to pass down to them?
Do not give up. No matter how much you are doubting yourself, no matter what negative things are in your mind, you put negative thoughts in your mind, your body is going to follow. So stay passionate, keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to show, and people are going to pick up what you're putting out there. And it's been an honor and it's been humbling, and there's just so many emotions, but do not give up your passion. If you are passionate about something, I started my business at 40 years old.
Hmm.
I worked, corporate America, and it just got to the point I'm just like, I need to do what my heart is telling me that I have to do. So when you're feeling, for everybody who's coming into this brand new, if you've got that feeling and you've got that passion, chase it and you grab it with both hands. And it's scary as but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but it's so worth it in the end. It's so worth it in the end. Do not give up. Don't give up. So
I love it. That is absolutely perfect on there. Again, I thank you for being on here, and we're definitely looking forward to having you back on. I know, whenever we do have the launch, we will have a launch party. We will be looking to you to be on there if at all possible with that. We're gonna
absolutely.
get as many of the people that are working on this as possible on there. The interior artist is from the Philippines. I don't think he wants to be on there in the middle of his sleep. So, and I don't want to do it first thing in the morning because I'm not fun without coffee, not at all. Um,
Neither am I. Nope.
yeah, no. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you have a great evening. I certainly appreciate you being on here. If you want to hang out in the backstage, I'm going to do my closing statements, and then I will get with you here very shortly. But thank you again for being on here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right. So we had Chelsie up here, and we had a great conversation about what all she's been working on, the passion in there, and all, and everything that's on it. That awesome reveal of the cover. I'm trying to make sure I'm actually, speaking correctly here because I'm still just in awe of that. Uh, Now it's not because, some people would be like, to be a huge name artist that's out there or something that would make you feel all kinds of feels about something or anything like that. It's not the fact that it's actually, based off of my character design on there. It's because we're doing what we set out to do in the show whenever I first started out, which is help as many people as possible. And that being said, what is there is a lot of people are getting into this industry. Some of them are brand new into it. Some of them have been working here for a while, and everybody needs a little oomph to the voice that's on there. I mean, I always talk that, the voice of the indies needs to be increased by as many people as possible. This show is one of those things as well that I always ask, hit the share button, let people know. But I'm telling you right now, by going ahead and working with Chelsie on this, it has increased so much more of the honor and the privilege that I have of working in this industry and working with people on this. And then to be able to see a product like that that's finished up, it really makes me feel like, those times whenever you feel like maybe it's not just for me, or maybe I should do something else, or maybe, just kind of phase out for a little while or whatever. And then something like this happens and you're like, something's working. Something is actually working out there. This is awesome. Chelsie has got some major talent that's out there. I'm not the only one who is saying this. Caesar has definitely, pointed this out. The guys over at Comic Fanzine, Brett and Dill and all of them over there have definitely pointed it out. This is something y'all need to pay attention to and see what she's got in the future and see what's going on. Don't miss out on that. And speaking of don't miss out, please remember to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. That way you don't miss out on anything on here, because we've got a lot of content that'll be coming up in the near future. There's some new shows that'll be coming up within the next month or two. You don't want to miss out on these things, because it's all about getting that exposure out for my guests in doing so. So that being said, I always get to finish off my shows the way that I love doing it, because I love this industry so much and everyone that's involved in it. So I'm going to throw it out there because everybody's waiting for it. Keep it indie, y'all.